so specifically when it comes to like arranged marriages, right? I know you do a bit of a hybrid, right? But like specifically for arranged marriages, do you feel there are like you said you were part of an arranged marriage to some degree or another, right?
Sure.
Okay. Given what you know now about what it's like to be married as well as being in an arranged marriage, give me an idea of the benefit to arranged marriages and some drawbacks, if you can come up with some.
Sure. So I had an arranged marriage in which, my parents first asked me, do you like somebody? I mean, are you dating anybody? So in that sense, they were quite progressive.
Okay.
I hadn't found anybody like that. So I was open with them, making some introductions. So, when, in fact, my husband, when I met him in the morning, and by afternoon I had said, I announced to the family, I like him. I would like to marry him. So I was a little
like that, just like is that that person. Yeah, we're gonna be in a house together raising kids. I met him this morning. That's how it happened. That's such a shame to like the men in the Western world where they're like, oh, I need a couple years. I need a couple, let's move in together, et cetera, et cetera. And the women that are like putting this pressure. Meanwhile, you're like, yeah, I met him this morning. He's marrying me in the afternoon. Like, that's pretty much what it was.
So my husband still teases me, you put me in a spot, I had to say yes. But
so you proposed ultimately, really?
Yeah. So it was, we were in a room. We had already spoken to each other a couple of hours. We went out and then we came back in the room. My parents, his parents are there. And they were not forcing us to say anything. They were just waiting for us to say anything, So I just took the lead. And you may be, if you're curious what made me decide that, I can share a little.
Go ahead.
Hint to that. So I think, when in an arranged marriage, when you look at that person, you're not already romantically involved with him or her.
Right.
So in a sense, your mind is very clear. You're very practical. You're very pragmatic. So you're looking, so that doesn't, they say love is blind, right? So we are not blinded by anything. So at the same time, we should like each other. There should be basic liking, it's hard to have an arranged marriage when you don't even like how the person looks.
Right.
Or, so that's hard. But so we know that all the other things that they can care in the sense, the parents are like each other, they know each other, or they've gotten to know each other through common connections. So it's just up to me and him, to decide. So we were discussing things like, we were in India at that time. So he was going to move here for his job. So he asked me, were you open to that? And we were talking things like ahead, we were thinking ahead of, I was looking at him and thinking, this is somebody I would like to be with in 10, 15 years. I wasn't looking at necessarily boyfriend material. That's nice too. But sometimes a guy who's a great boyfriend may not be a great husband or the other way around.
Ooh, that's a quote right there. A great boyfriend is not always a great husband.
May not be.
And then I'm assuming a great girlfriend doesn't always reflect that they're going to be a great wife.
Yeah, because, you're looking for different things. I have a close friend. She was dating this guy in India for 8 years. And then they got married and they got divorced in a year. So I asked her, what went wrong?
Wait, they were hold on. They were dating for how long before they got married?
8 years.
8 years, and then they got married and divorced.
They got divorced within a year. So I asked her, what is different? I just don't get it because you spend so much time together. Then she said the same qualities which were attractive to me as a boyfriend. Like he would be spontaneous. He would suddenly come to her, come to pick her up. He has a bunch of red roses and he's like, come, we are going on a trip. He was just really spontaneous. So that was really attractive for a girlfriend. But then after they got married, he came home one day. I quit my job. Come, let's go backpacking, So those same things.
Wow.
So those same things were hard for her. She said, I was looking to, have something stable, but he never changed. But I told her, but you knew how he was, right?
Yeah, she knew what it was. So I don't understand what she was expecting here.
Yeah. It's just like you just think that as soon as you get married, things are going to change. Personalities don't change overnight. You grow together. I mean,
Right.
a little bit of you changes, a little bit of him changes. You grow together. That's the point. But
to your point, you grow together. You're saying the benefit of being married as an arranged marriage is not dealing with the cloud of the emotions, right? It's a pragmatic decision. Right. Do you like this person on a fundamental level? Do they have the qualities to be a sustainable person? Mm-hmm. The end, right?
That's right.
But like, if you're saying, whether or not you grow together, like how can you guarantee you're going to grow together in the right direction if you haven't had a chance to really experience the direction the person's going in to see how sustainable they are really? And you're already marrying this person.
Yeah, I understand. So see, I think any successful relationship, there's a little of, give and take. I always believe relationships cannot be absolutely equal. Sometimes he takes over, sometimes she takes over. So if in an arranged marriage, both the guy and girl are getting into it, knowing that there are going to be some adjustments that have to be made because you're going to live with a new person, right?
Right.
So you go in with the mindset that, this is something I should work on, it's like a plant, right? If you both water it, then only it's going to grow. So it cannot be one-sided.
Right.
When they both go into arranged marriage, they both are open to the idea that, we have to learn how to live with each other. I'm not saying that people who, fall in love with each other won't do that necessarily, but here it's a very pragmatic, practical decision. And you are looking forward to falling in love with each other.
So what are some of the drawbacks to being in an arranged or part of an arranged marriage, given your experience?
I think, sure. Part of the drawbacks, I think, culturally, divorce is still frowned upon. I mean, it's still. So I wouldn't want two people who had an arranged marriage to stay together just because they have to.
Okay.
We would never want that for anybody to be unhappy.
Okay.
So sometimes one downside could be that, you're just expected to maintain appearances just because you had so we don't want that.
But you don't want that, but that happens. Like, so you're saying a lot of arranged marriages, even though they had the best intentions in getting together and being married, when things go wrong, there's a pressure to maintain appearances more so than to work out the differences. Like, how is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, of course, the parents are involved in arranged marriage. So the upside is, the parents could, counsel both of them, find out what's going on. But then, growing up in a Western culture, the singles may not want the involvement of the parents to, in their relationship struggles.
Right.
So they would like to sort it out themselves. So while you have the support of the family, there's some stuff you both have to, hash out yourself. So,
but you're saying, but the maintaining of the relationship, not the relationship, but the appearance, is what kind of like sparked an interest to me here. Is like, I like to think that arranged marriages typically last longer than love marriages. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not aware of, whether there's been any big study on that, but I can say one thing. When I first moved here, people kept saying, oh, there's so many divorces in the US and, we have fewer divorces in India. But then I said, unless we do a real study on it, we don't know how many people are, happy necessarily in an arrangement.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. So
it's hard to, So I wouldn't, generalize without knowing the actual data. I don't know if a study has been done, but definitely, whether it's an arranged marriage or a marriage in which you find each other, ultimately there's stuff about each other you're going to find out only after you live with each other. Only, after you live together, you may realize, oh, he keeps the toilet seat up, or she keeps a wet towel on the bed. These are things you only know after you live with somebody for some time.
I hope if that's the biggest problem, that's a perfect couple. Okay, if that's the biggest problem that they have in a relationship, like I don't think they're gonna have any issues.